program, the handling of the finances of the United States government and its effect on the world, and
in what way do you think a Democratic administration would differ from the Republicans in foreign policy?
well, compare the administration of President Roosevelt with the present administration, and that's your answer.
What key areas are most important on foreign
All
policy?
of them. They're all important, particularly South America. The Republicans moved the communists 5,000 miles nearer to our shore when they put them in Cuba.
Well, how did the Republicans put the communists in Cuba?
Because they didn't enforce the Monroe Doctrine.
What should they have done?
Oh, I can't tell you.
Or what do you think a new administration ought to do about
That's
Cuba?
up to the new administration.
Well, if you were called
They've
on...
inherited a mess, and it'll take them about 8 years to get the country out of it. The worst mess the country's ever been in, since 1932.
And what is the answer to the rest of Latin America?
That's up to the new administration to find out.
Well, what would you think ought to be done? What basic
I'm
areas of
making no
policy?
suggestions on policy and foreign affairs because nobody can make foreign affairs but the President of the United States. And the present President has bungled them. Now, we hope the other one won't.
Mr. President, I'd like to take this opportunity to present you with the flag of Charles Quantrill, the famous guerrilla leader here in Missouri during the Civil War. This has been in my family for many years, and I want to present it to you for your library.
Well, thank you very much for the presentation. I'm most happy to have it. And I want to say to you that when the destruction was made for the other side of the line, it was murder and rape. When they did the same thing on this side of the line, that was for the welfare of the country, and there wasn't any difference in them at all. Madam's a member of the 74th Club in Washington. That doesn't mean she's that old. That's the 74th Congress. Why don't we bring in the other presentation before we get to the case?
We're going to bring in another presentation for you, Mr. President. We're going to bring in another presentation.
Mr. Truman.
Thank you very much. That's just as nice. Come here, young lady.
Over here, baby. Over here. Come over here.
Come on over here and shake
Turn right
hands.
here. Now take hold of the flag.
Right there.
You're going to unfold
Now
it.
you two boys shake hands.
Here, come unfold it, Mike.
Here you are. Here you are.
Well, you got to set the shot at you before you shoot it.
There you are. Now you put your hand on the flag. Feedback, are you behind the case?
I'm behind.
No, all right, come on. Unity. All right, one more. Let's do it. All right.
That's no wonder those people perspire when they
Well, now what?
Congratulations, Mr. Truman. Your 74th birthday. It's a wonderful occasion here at your library.
Thank you very much. It's as kind as can be among you people who've been associated with me for so long. Come and have this celebration. I more than appreciate it.
I hope we can have another one for you on your 75th birthday, and many more of them, too. Congratulations again.
Let's make it the 95th while we're at it.
All right, if I'm still here, we will.
That nice? I don't blame her. Come on around here so these funny boys can take your picture. That's it. How's that? What's the
Happy birthday, Mr. President. In my capacity as chairman of the Israel Anniversary Festival, I've come here to convey to you the greetings and good wishes of the people of Chicago upon this, your 74th birthday. May you enjoy many, many more birthday anniversaries in good health and with peace of mind. Our community has looked forward to your participation in another birthday festival, the 10th anniversary of the State of Israel, on next Sunday at the stadium in Chicago.
Thank you very much for those good wishes. It would have given me a great personal satisfaction to join in paying another tribute to the young democracy of Israel, which I've already done 3 times up to date. Unfortunately, I've had to revise my schedule. It's a matter of deep personal regret to me, Colonel Ivey, that my doctor has ordered me to slow down for a while, and therefore it will be impossible for me to take part in the Chicago program.
Well, of course, we shall be greatly disappointed, Mr. President, because we had looked forward to the opportunity of acknowledging your unique role and unforgettable contribution to Israel's rebirth. As President of the United States, you performed an historic act of support and endorsement for the State of Israel just 10 years ago. Your name will forever be linked with the Republic of Israel because you were the first head of state to extend recognition to the young nation, and you did so, as you well remember, even before the ink on its proclamation of independence was dry. This was a great act of faith, justice, and humanity. We in Chicago had hoped to convey to you personally our our deep appreciation for your world leadership in bringing about the revival of the ancient Jewish homeland.
Let me say right now that I regard my support for the establishment of Israel as a memorable chapter in my years of service in the White House. I'm glad I had something to do with the creation of the State of Israel. I'm proud that I was Chief of State, the first Chief of State to recognize the State of Israel. I did it because I knew that in so doing, I was expressing not only the fundamental wish of the American people, but the high traditions of the United States of America. Since the founding of our republic, we've had the deepest sympathy for the strivings of people to be free, to achieve self-government, and to express the cause of freedom in their own way. For generations, the statesmen of the world had promised the Jewish people a homeland of their own, a homeland free from persecution for those Jews who wanted and needed a home and a nation. For centuries, Jews had prayed for an opportunity to return to Zion, the land of the birth of their faith and their history. History justified the recreation of the State of Israel. The immediate needs of hundreds of thousands of homeless, displaced, and uprooted people justified it. Historical claims and the claims of humanitarianism both pointed in the same direction. And the Jewish people had the will, the determination, and the readiness to make the necessary sacrifices to translate their claim into a practical reality. The record of the past 10 years speaks for itself. What has been accomplished in Israel can be extended to the entire Middle East region if the United States acts promptly. First of all, there must be a clear statement of our position as to the basis for an Arab-Israeli peace. We must make the Arabs understand that no peace settlement can be based on whittling down Israel's territory or of undermining her chances of stability and survival. Soviet Russia's attempts to expand their sphere of influence can be met and hurled back not by the instruments of war, but through the bold and large-scale use of economic weapons. Through the positive action, we can reclaim the entire Middle East for our side. We must move quickly to solve the economic problems of the Arab states and of Israel. They need water to irrigate the vast desert areas which are within their borders. They need capital. Some of them need manpower. All of this is available in the Middle East if they work together, make the best possible use of their resources through the modern planning and water development techniques. I'm sure that capital loans could be made available and should be made available for the proper development of these resources. The Israel Bond Drive is a good example of how investment funds can be channeled into economic development. We can help, we're going to help, to make the next 10 years of Israel history even more brilliant and full of achievement than the past. And again, I'm as sorry as I can be, Colonel Harvey, that I can't be in Chicago for this celebration, as I had counted on being. But I've got to slow down just a little bit because 74 is not 24, and I'm sorry that it's not. And thank you very much for this courtesy.
We hope it's 204.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Now, that's where you want to stop. You're going to change your lens on that, aren't you? All right, then. I know how important your Chicago celebration will be, Colonel Harvey, so I have asked my very good friend, the former governor and former member of the United States Senate from the state of New York, to speak in my place. He is a distinguished and beloved American, a revered champion of the cause of human freedom and democracy. I'm deeply indebted to Senator Lehman for the sacrifice he has made to come to Chicago in honor of Israel's 10th anniversary. I'm also very anxious to have my good friend Senator Humphrey and to thank him for his great public service and for his interest in what's going on here now. May this anniversary celebration inspire all Americans with continued support for the State of Israel and for all nations dedicated to human liberty and peace. Well, we got through without any stumbles, I believe.
Yeah. You mean, but not...
I'm very sorry, Colonel Harvey, that I can't be with you in Chicago because of the fact that when you get to be 74 years old, you have to slow down just a little bit. And you understand that 74 is not 24 as much as I wish it were. I wish you'll give my best to all the people in Chicago and say to them, the only reason I'm not there is because the doctor thinks maybe this old man ought to slow up a little bit, and that's what I'm trying to do.
You're not an old man, and I hope you live to be 154, and thank you very, very much. God bless you.
Thank you. That fix you? You know, I never did have any quarrel with the working press or the working broadcasters. My quarrels have always been with the editors and the managers and the owners of stations. I suppose no discussion of television broadcast industry is complete without some reference to toll television. It's my understanding that there are two ways by which television programs may be delivered to a home. One is the so-called closed circuit, or unregulated wire system, promoted by the motion picture theaters. And the other is the open circuit, or television stations, licensed and regulated by FCC. Both are capable of carrying advertising as well as toll programs. And I wish there was some way I could shut the advertisers off when I want to listen to a program that almost drove me crazy today when Milwaukee was winning that pennant by sticking in and telling me how to use a razor. The theaters can establish their wire system without federal approval, while you must wait federal authorization for your broadcast system. I suspect that your business will be vitally affected when and if theater boys start piping toll and advertising programs into the homes of your viewers. If we were to have paid television system, the television broadcaster, in view of his established responsibility and responsiveness to the public under the federal regulation, should at least have an opportunity to conduct it. I express the hope that the federal government will not be responsible for excluding or preventing the television broadcaster from using his facilities to compete in this field. In this, I'm not choosing between either system, closed or open, because I probably won't look at either one of them for very often. But I'm suggesting that each should have its opportunity so that the public may make an ultimate choice. My idea is to impress you that nothing is surer than change, as I said when I started out. Change is what makes the world go round. Don't get it into your head that you control any line of communication for entertainment, advertising, or anything else. The coal man, the oil man, the utilities tried to control the fuel situation, and they failed. The railroads and the truckers tried to control the transportation of people and freight. They failed. That's the reason it's become necessary in this tremendously great free country of ours to have regulation. I've found that when something gets so terrible that we can't stand it, something else will come along and take its place. And I've usually found that when the underdog gets on top, he's a damn sight meaner than the top dog was before he got there. So I want you fellas, hardly an issue of a trade journal, periodical, or daily newspaper is published without some news item featuring an article or editorial on that question. It's a pleasure indeed for me to have a chance to be with the National Association of Radio and Television Broadcasters this evening. I don't know anything about the technical things in this business. I depend on Tom Evans over there to tell me those things, and I'm too old to learn, so there you are.